Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. If you're on Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, please subscribe to the Matt Moscone YouTube channel and hit the like button. So let's talk, man. What y'all have this morning? What's going on? NIL, the sun came up. That's great to see. The world didn't end due to NIL yesterday. It was a whirlwind day, almost like start of NFL free agency. Boom, 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 boom. Rapid fire. People doing deals. Dave Portnoy and Barstool got involved, creating their Barstool athletes off the cuff, just signing anybody that wanted to be a part of it, which is actually pretty brilliant because I think in the world of micro influencers, that could be really valuable. I can explain that if you're interested. If not, that's really okay. But Sha'Carri Richardson, sprinter from LSU, her Olympic trials results nullified after a positive marijuana test. Why are we testing for marijuana? It's legal in half the country. I mean, what are we doing anyway? Milwaukee Bucks beat the Atlanta Hawks in Game 5 without Giannis. So see if Trae Young can get back for Game 6 and what the status is for Giannis. I think they'd be wise to sit him, see if they get him back for the NBA Finals, provided they make it. And then we also found out yesterday Mark Richt announced he has Parkinson's disease. So Mark Richt's a great guy, a very good man, and a very devout Christian man as well. So certainly pray for him and his family as he goes through that physical struggle that he'll have. Okay, let's say some good mornings here. See what y'all got. Fire away. It's Friday. Ontario later today on AFR. I had a little birdie whisper to me that LSU might be landing a transfer pitcher for the baseball team. I don't know if that news is going to drop here anytime today, but someone, not from Arizona, but against whom Arizona played, and Jay Johnson apparently was very impressed. And we got 14 Arizona baseball players in the transfer portal. Wait, I want to look this up real quick to make sure I'm right on that they played this year, because yep, they played. If you go look at Arizona's schedule, you could probably figure this out. Someone from around here that played against Arizona this year, who entered the transfer portal, that looks like he might be headed to LSU. I'll let him break his own news up. Brian Wynn, good morning. Father John David Mathern, good morning. Charlie Cavell, good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. Kirk Taylor, Kelly Presley, Nolan Bagel from Woodstock, GA, good morning. Father John David Mathern, how many Arizona players are following Johnson? Well, Jacob Berry is one that I think is a given. I think that's happening. I think he's going to be the starting third baseman. Other players, I think it's really going to determine how many roster spots that that LSU is going to have. What's imperative right now is Johnson figure out what guys he's going to have back, what guys he's going to invite back from this LSU team, what guys may transfer, what guys are going to go pro. So you need to know how many spots you have, but then also how you allocate the money. See, this is the part of it that's, let's see, Bryce Doty. What would happen to Cade Doty if he's not a second base? I think that's a very obvious choice. You just it's where Cade started this season. You kick him back to second base, and Cade Doty will be starting. I mean, I'm not worried about that. But second base. But not only do you have to balance your numbers, but also your scholarship allocation. So like, I know everyone said, well, he's not from here, or can he recruit, blah, blah, blah. Like, the thing that everybody can do now is recruit nationally, the major prospects. Like we talked about, every major prospect goes to these elite camps, these showcases, and every school has representation at these showcases. That's where they go recruit the best kids. Okay. The thing is, when you're divvying up 11.7, if you get an out-of-state kid, you have to give them a lot of money because it's more expensive for out-of-state kids. So, for example, like we saw Zach Arnold enter the transfer portal. Zach Arnold was on 65%. That's a ton of scholarship money. It's especially a ton of scholarship money for a guy that's not an everyday player, which Zach Arnold wasn't this year. He was on again, off again, DH, second base, played some, started the season over at short. Like, that's a lot of money for a guy that's not playing every day. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to nail those, because the other part, which is I would say equally as important, is when you recruit the in-state guys that are either going to come on tops or have 25%, like the minimum scholarship. Like, those are the guys where you have to make sure they're worthy of a roster spot, so you don't end up with multiple of the same guy. Like, I know I've given this example, but I'll say it again. When you look at Holt, the kid from Parkview who signed, Brennan Holt, I'm pretty sure is his name. He and Will Stafford are basically the same guy. Short guys, second base, center field. Holt, though, has elite speed, like elite top end speed. So he'll have a role no matter what. But like, you can't miss on those guys. But you can't give scholarship money and have a roster spot for someone that's not going to be a usable player, especially if you've got basically two of the same guy on the roster. Does that make sense? I know the question was about how many Arizona players are following Johnson. Well, but it depends on all that. He's got to figure out first and foremost how many spots he's going to have available, and how much, and for players that are leaving, how much scholarship money does that free up. Hey, Kelly Gross. Kirk Taylor, LSU's killing the NIL game. The video LSU put up was fire. It was. Opened AFR with it. I mean, LSU basically said, our arms are open. Come on, let us help you. Look at all the brands that we've helped build here. From Jamal Adams to Honey Badger to Shaquille O'Neal to Shakari Richardson and Olivia Dunn. And look at everybody here. We are embracing it fully. Come on. And the other very smart thing that LSU did was in their rules, they do allow student athletes to use LSU marks, and so the logos, fonts, all that stuff, and facilities, provided it doesn't conflict with an LSU corporate partner. So that's very smart, because that's only going to be more added value. That's another way that LSU can say to student athletes, we are helping you. We are helping facilitate this for you, which is very smart. Shelby, how about Portnoy? Dude is always so ready to take the world in stride, just adjust the trends. He's got the money to do it, man. Brian Wynn, Cardell Thomas. Saw Cardell signed up on Match Point. I don't know if he's had any matches yet, but yeah, every athlete would be smart to do that. Leo Williams, good morning. Krista Ducote, good morning. Let's see. Jump over here to YouTube real quick. Trivia Carter, not real quick, but you know what I mean. Trivia Carter, Val Brown, and Jason Mobile. Pat Huseman, good morning, good morning, good morning. Bubba Tatum, good morning. Long live Scone on YouTube. Oh, back in Facebook jail. Oh, sorry to hear that, Bubba. We'll stay over here, man. YouTube has worked out awesome. The video's great on YouTube. The sound's great. We're growing it every day, up to 4,470 subscribers. So growing that YouTube channel. We appreciate it. I'll keep doing more content, more live content on YouTube if you all like it here. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, like these videos. All that's super important. Only 12 likes right now. We need to get that number up. So stop what you're doing and hit the thumbs up. Nicholas Cantrell, morning Scone. Kicked off a 3-day weekend last night with some Noah's Mill. All right. You kicked off your 3-day weekend last. Well, your weekend started already? Well, I guess you started on Thursday. Do you have to work today? Because you didn't kick off the weekend. But I got you. Noah's Mill. I like Noah's Mill. You either love or hate Noah's Mill, man. A lot of cinnamon texture in Noah's Mill. You either love it or you hate it. Sorry. Kyle Milliken, 2 months till football season. Jude Saunier, the Texas Tech pitcher. No. Kyle Milliken, how is Iraq after her Brock appointment? Got an injection in her foot yesterday for plantar fasciitis. So it's very sore because the injection apparently hurts like heck. But hopefully she's moving around a little better. We'll see. Thank you for asking, Kyle. Lane Ward, good morning. Glenn Laurie, good morning. Manny Troncoso, good morning. Murder Giraffe 19, what's up? Glenn Laurie, NIL will be a really big recruiting tool. I think when used properly, absolutely it will. LSU put out a graphic with Jamar Chase on it, and it listed, all of his exposures on social media, etc., and listed what his worth would have been had NIL been active while Jamar Chase were playing. It was like $508,000, which is incredible. I mean, and there will be rare exceptions where you have players with that type of profile and cachet where they could capitalize on it. That's going to be the exception, not the rule. But for those guys, good on them. Mr. W, hey Matt, any news on who Coach Johnson will get for his assistants? Yeah, let's see. Hey, Drew. Hello. Chad Kaye interviewed yesterday. I don't want to tell you that. Chad Kaye interviewed yesterday. He got axed with the rest of Rob Childress's staff at A&M. He had also been at Southern Miss and I want to say Southeastern as recruiting coordinator. So he might also be like an assistant hitting coach type deal. So here I'm looking at his bio right now. He's from Hahnville, played at Southern Miss. Coached at Southeastern. And Southeastern, Southern Miss, A&M, some other stops. So, yeah, Chad Kaye is a name to keep an eye on. If they offer him the job, he'll take it as recruiting coordinator. And then I think the pitching coach is the names we've talked about. It's just a matter of them making the decision. I think what was so important for Jay Johnson in this immediate short term was not so much the staff as it was before July 1, when it was the deadline to enter the transfer portal and have immediate eligibility, was let's go through this roster and let's see who's going to be back and who's not and who has an opportunity. He needed to make those decisions quickly. Let's see. Bud Smith, check the portal this morning. Millis, Arnold, Kaminer, and Colin Rice are all in the portal. That makes sense. Like a guy like Theo Millis, who didn't really play. Brandon Kaminer is a lefty, but he's just a lefty arm. That makes sense. You didn't get anything out of him. So that does. It makes sense. So we'll see what happens with the draft. Like, I think you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to lose Marceau. I think you've got. Sorry, I was reading a text. But I'm gonna maintain, y'all. From what I hear, man, I think they got at least they got a puncher's chance to get Fontenot and Dugas back. They got a shot to get those two guys back. Cliff Nelson, will teams deny the use of their gear for their athletes when it comes to NIL? That's the point, right, Cliff? So some have, yeah. And I think when you see a school like LSU allow it, and if that gives you a competitive advantage, then you're more likely going to see that others change their rules. I think it's going to be very fluid. But, just hat tip to Scott Woodward, to Stephanie Remp for being forward thinking enough, right, to understand where their unfair advantage was going to come in this NIL stuff. Did my guy Drew just say Dragon Ball? I don't think he said Dragon Ball, but it'd be cool if he did. Dragon Ball. Kyle Milliken, Matt, do you think the players will be pressured by companies that they have deals with to not sit out bowl games and such? No. Nicholas Cantrell, Mizzou pitcher. No. From around here, man. From around here. Like from physically nearby. Just go look at Arizona's schedule. See who Arizona played this year. They're going to make me blurt it out. It's the kid from Southeastern, man. It's the kid from Southeastern. I think they're going to get him. Apparently, Johnson was very impressed. I'll tell you his name. Hang on. Trey Schaefer. He's a lefty. From Biloxi, pitched at Southeastern. Apparently, he went into the portal, and apparently when he pitched against Arizona this year, Johnson was very impressed with him, and so I think they're going to go. Spurge, what's up, man? Dave Vender, who all do you think is coming for Arizona? Last night was the final day for the portal. It's not the final day for the portal. It was the deadline for the portal to have immediate eligibility this year. If it's after this deadline, you have to be granted a waiver. There was another kid who jumped into the portal last night from Arizona, and Kendall tweeted about him. Ryan Holgate. He was an outfielder. He hit .351 with 11 homers and 56 RBI. Now, Holgate is a draft eligible prospect, and he's around the top 100. So, I think maybe I looked at one list last night that had him 105. So you're looking right there somewhere maybe round somewhere in the rounds 3 to 5 range. And that could get really interesting because on the high end, you probably sign, right? If you go in round 3, let's see, MLB slot money, MLB draft slot money 2021. Round 3 would be, let's see, bonus slots, round 3. So third round, for example, let's say he goes with the last pick of round 3. The last pick of round 3 is the Dodgers at $577K. You're probably signing. If you go into round 5, let's say he goes middle round 5 with pick 150 to the Reds at $357K. That's a little dicey, right? $357 is still a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not, but $357 is one of those things where you go, okay, after taxes and after you pay your agent, what are you left with? I'm not saying $200K is something to piss on, but do you come back, have a chance to play for a championship, play at LSU, play for your former coach, maybe increase your draft stock, become potentially a first-round guy with another double-digit homer season that you do in the SEC in bigger ballparks against better pitching? Maybe. That's something he would weigh, so he would have that decision to make. But it depends where ultimately your name is called. Father John David Mathurin and Robin Williams had a stand-up bit about marijuana being a performance-enhancing drug. It's hysterical. I would imagine so. Pretty much anything Robin Williams did was hysterical. Sad story. Terry Hughes, yesterday was a great day for our country. Let me know if I can help you get Mark Richt on the show. Absolutely. Carrie, say the word, man. I'm saying the word right now. That would be awesome. Yes. It's been a while since I had Mark Richt on the show. I don't think I've had him since he... I think... Now I'm trying to remember when he was at Miami. Because 18 was his last year at Miami when LSU played him in the opener that year. And I'm trying to remember if I had him. I think I did have him back in 18 before they played. But that's definitely the last time. I haven't had him since he went to ACC Network. But great guy, man. I've always enjoyed talking to Mark Richt. Charlie Cavell, don't know if you saw, but LSU Hall of Famer Meredith Duncan returned to the LPGA Tour. I did see that. I saw LSU announce that. LSU announced that on LSUsports.net, which is really cool. Kevin Boudreau, weed may be legal in the States, but if they're testing for the Olympics, it's probably not legal in Tokyo. Just guessing. Why ruin a chance of a lifetime for some pot? I don't know if you saw the story, Kevin, but her mom died. She said she was having trouble coping with it, and she turned to marijuana. So who am I to judge her? That's the thing for me. That's like, okay, like I drink alcohol. That's legal. That's my vice. If somebody wanted to turn to that substance, why is that okay? But smoking pot isn't. Just whatever. I mean, I'm not a pothead. I don't smoke. I've told you that before. I've literally never smoked weed in my life. I smoke cigars. I've never smoked weed or a cigarette in my life, ever. If you want to, good on you. Just treat people right. Don't hurt anybody. I don't know. That's where I struggle. I'm like, why is it okay for me to drink whiskey, but it's not okay for somebody who wants to smoke pot recreationally? Whatever. Next Thursday, can you lead hour 2 with LSU rather than the Saints with Mike D? We didn't get much about the Tigers yesterday due to the Saints talk. Mike and Mike's close friend passing. Yeah, Justin. It really depends on the week. Like the biggest story yesterday with Mike was obviously Ryan Ramczyk, and then how Ramczyk signing, freeing up the cap space, affects what they're going to do with the roster moving forward. I had intended to use the second half of the hour to talk about Dare Rosenthal and then get everybody's questions. I asked Mike about Joe Clark, and we ended up spending a whole segment talking about Joe Clark, which was perfectly fine with me. Over the years, Mike has mentioned Joe Clark so many times on the show. I felt like I knew him. And Mike told me, he's like, man, Joe would actually listen to your show every day, which is crazy but to think, but it's humbling.
This is amazing.
No. Hey, bud. So Drew is here, and Drew is watching the lawnmowers.
He heard that, Matt, and got up. Like, I didn't even hear it.
Whoop. Sorry, y'all.
Hi, lawnmower.
So y'all know, Drew is. Hey, buddy.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Drew. Can I have a hug? Can I have a hug? So Drew, for a long time in his little life, loved to stand at this window and watch the guys cut the grass. And then one day, it was like a light switch flipped, and this terrified him.
Like, I would get upset if we missed the grass people. Like, if we were gone and
Yeah.
they came, I'd be like, oh man, they came when we were gone. And then a year and a half.
It got to the point where like we would literally have to tell the company that that does the yard work, like
Amazing, by the way. Please give them a shout out.
yeah, it's Chad
What's
Williams
Lisa?
with
I didn't know if you knew the new name. They changed names.
You got the peanut gallery over here. Why don't you pull up a chair? Come on, you rock.
Leeson Landscape, Chad Williams.
They do a great job.
Amazing.
So Chad would coordinate his crew every week to where Drew wasn't here. Like if Drew was at therapy or something, like that's how bad it was for Drew whenever they were cutting grass. And then all of a sudden now he's really okay with it. Maybe it's medicine, maybe it's anxiety medicine.
Yeah, we did start him on anxiety medicine.
And he's just standing by the.
Like
I just showed Facebook. Let me show you YouTube what he's doing.
Fear the panic that he would have when they came. Oh my God. Again, Chad Williams rearranged his life around Drew for 2 years.
Y'all hear him? He's just like, he's doing the sounds of the lawnmower, all that stuff.
Oh, it's so nice
Okay.
to know. We don't
Shout out
have
to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. So yeah, Justin. So anyway,
that. You said or no? You don't? Did you? No.
Sure, if you want to.
No, I no.
Okay. So anyway, so that's why. If the biggest story is LSU related, then absolutely we'll leave with that. Kirk, how many wings from Pluckers can you buy for $50 billion? Darren James. I don't know if y'all heard that on AFR yesterday, but I called Darren, had him on the show, and he's making a lot of national news right now. Like if you go search Darren James, he's gotten into a lot of like the wire services and national networks and stuff to where like news outlets all over the country are picking up the story. Darren, like this is totally legitimate too. It's not a joke. Darren James had $50 billion mistakenly deposited into his account by his bank. 50 billion with a B. Not a joke at all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see. Bless you. Let's see, Pat. A bit of NIL for myself. A lot of live music happening this weekend. My former band coming off a 4-year hiatus, playing on the streets of Old Town Slidell Sunday along with Amanda Shaw. Stop and say hello. There you go, y'all. If you're in Slidell, go see Pat. Or Saturday, by the way, I really should have been pumping this more. We will pump it today on AFR a lot. I am the Grand Marshal of the Kenilworth Independence Parade, year 49. It always draws a great crowd. It runs through the Kenilworth neighborhood in Baton Rouge if you're around. Parade rolls at 6:30 on Saturday, hoping for good weather. And your boy is Grand Marshal. So if you're around, holler at your boy. Do you think the NIL will keep some baseball players from going pro if they are in the lower slots? Probably not. I just don't think you're talking about the money that that's the biggest. I think that is going to be the biggest misconception is the amount of money that people think student athletes are going to make. Like even the deal that Stingley signed with walk-ons, like I don't know that they'll ever disclose the value of that, but whatever you think it is, I'd be willing to bet you it ain't. Anyway, like as a general rule of thumb, if you look at like let's say for a social media post, right? Typically the way that you'll structure that in finding a value would be with a cost per thousand. So like, and typically a CPM cost per thousand would be like $10 per thousand. So if your reach, let's say if you're Derek Stingley, and I think Derek has maybe could be wrong on this, but I think Stingley has, I don't have it in front of me, I think he's got around 40,000 Twitter followers. And I think yesterday he got a big boost on Instagram too from what he had. He's only posted like 5 times on Instagram. Stingley has, all right, Stingley has 45,000 followers on Twitter, and on Instagram he's got, I think he's over 100 now. He's got 135K. Okay, so if you're working at a $10 per 1,000 impressions, so Stingley posted his match point walk-ons thing and it got 4,500 likes. It doesn't show impressions here, but it got 4,500 likes. So if you're doing a $10 per 1,000, he made 45 bucks. I mean, let's even double it. I mean, he'd made $100 on that post, right? Now, I bet you they're going to get him posting a lot more. Like that walk-ons post was only his 6th post on Instagram ever. So they're going to, and he's got 135,000 followers, which is phenomenal. That's going to grow this year. You know, but the point is, man, the people who think you're going to make bank, like the people who will make bank are people like Olivia Dunn. When you have 1.1 million Instagram followers and 3.5 million TikTok followers, now you're talking about an aggregate where you're talking real money, where you do deals for, you know, a half dozen posts or, you know, a post per week over the course of a month or whatever, however you structure it. You know what I mean? And now you're talking about like where her TikToks may reach 3, 4, 5 million views. Well, now you're talking about, you know, 5 million views is the equivalent of, you know, a primetime college football game, right? I mean, like, let me put this in perspective. So SEC on CBS. I'm just pulling one up here. Let's see. This was 2 seasons ago. So they averaged. Here you go. SEC on CBS 2 years ago averaged about 6 million viewers. That was up from 4.87 million the year prior. So so that's basically what Olivia Dunn would reach with her social media posts. So whatever advertisers are paying for endorsements or sponsorships on SEC on CBS is basically what they would be paying Olivia Dunn. Like, she is the SEC on CBS. Think of it like that, right? So she will make major money. But again, she's an outlier. Let's see. Y'all please like the page, share the post on Facebook, if you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, man, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Appreciate the likes there. Kenilworth and Cliff Nelson's birthday. You got it, Cliff. We'll sing to you tomorrow. E-Rock should get on camera at least once a year. We can make it a big event. Ryan, unless you share, not many of these kids are going to see the money Olivia Dunn or some of these TikTok softball players. True. Storm warning. Really, nobody will, except them. In reference to MSU fans and damage to cars, it was about a dozen in a hotel parking garage. Sad, unfortunate, not major news. Let's not be dramatic. Oh, Blake, I didn't see that. Did you hear about every car with Mississippi license plates getting their tires slashed? I didn't. That's a bummer. I don't think 12 cars would overwhelm every tire repair shop in Omaha. I didn't see the story, so sorry, I can't comment on it. Sometimes fans are stupid. Charlie, speaking of the transfer portal, you think LSU football has room to add any transfers? They do not. They're out. Remember, you can only sign 25 initial scholarship players, and LSU has no more room, so they can't take any more transfers. They're done. When they added Mike Jones and Major Burns, that was it. They're done. So no, LSU can't take anybody else. Eric Trosclair, good morning from Grand Isle. Hope everyone has a safe 4th of July weekend. Yes, sir. Brandon DeVille, D1 Baseball doesn't show any Southeastern players in the portal. Okay. I was telling you, bro. Stephen Miller, good morning. Looking for a major roster overhaul on the baseball team with a couple of huge surprises. Shelby Kelly, 22 in 22. I'm moving Dugas to DH, Morgan to the outfield. You keep damage in the lineup, can make your defense more elite. I would be for that. Shelby, my understanding is you're more than likely going to see Morgan stay at first. Barry goes to third. Doty goes to second. Thompson stays at short. If you get Dugas back, he likely stays in left. Cruz in right, and then supposedly Andrew Stevenson's little brother's a freaking stud, and he may be a day one starter. Vino Frazier, Matt, I don't know if you answered this. With NIL now in place, will it slow down players leaving early to go pro? I don't think so. Where's Hershey? Hershey's back home. Jan Barrio, good morning. Andrew Brister, good morning. Steven, random 2 questions. Any word on Taste of Tiger tailgating? Taste of Tiger tailgating is not happening. And are you doing a remote show in LA? Great question. We are working. We actually were making calls yesterday on getting me, T-Bob, and Hester out to LA for shows. So I definitely want to make that happen. Because, I mean, it's LSU in the Rose Bowl. Are you kidding me? I'd love to do that. So, hey, come see. Hey, come see. I want to tell you something. Hey, I'll tell you something. Hey, Drew. Hey, come see Daddy. Hey, I want to tell you something. Drew. 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 Yay! Oh, my buddy came to see his daddy. Oh, sweet Snuggles. I love you, sweet Snuggles. I love you so much. You're my favorite. You know who you're gonna see soon? Lily. And Lily gonna give you a haircut, boy. Yep. Lily gotta cut that mop on your head. Yep. So today is Friday. You know what tomorrow is? What's tomorrow? After Friday is? Saturday. And on Saturday, when you wake up, we will do Dad's show. And after Dad's show, we go to Daddy's work and ride the elevator, ride the elevator. And after the elevator, we'll come back to Drew's house and drink your milk and wear your backpack. Yep. And we'll probably go swim in the pool. You can eat your lunch. Later, we will go see the parade. And Daddy will ride the parade and say, "Hi, Drew!" We'll wave, throw you some beads. What do you think about that? You know what you haven't asked me to do in a long time. Blue Jean Baby. LA lady. Seems just for the band. Pretty eyes. Pirate smile. Marry the music man. Ballerina. You must have seen her dancing in the street. Looking on. Sings the song. Words you know, tune. Oh. Hang on. Hang on. We're going to vent your belly. Let's take this thing off. I got you all excited. The full belly. Okay. Got you all excited with a full belly?
No.
No?
No.
Hold me closer, tell me true. Here you go. Yeah, it's fun while it lasts. Had him here for a quick second. Let's see. Let's see. If Trey Morgan goes to the outfield, Dugas stays, does he go to center field? I don't. Listen, I want to be clear. My feeling is that Trey Morgan will be an outfielder in professional baseball. Does he make that transition during his LSU career? Don't know. I doubt it would be next year, but at some point. Kenneth Westbrook, good morning. Dylan Landry, what's up? Charlie Cavill, heard Canizero is a leading candidate for the Nicholls State job. Andy turned the job down. They did offer it to him, Charlie, and he turned it down. Andy, I think, wants the Tulane job. I think there were some things with Nicholls, facilities, et cetera, that he wasn't, some other things that he wasn't thrilled about, and I think wants a better opportunity. I kind of think of it as like beggars can't be choosers, but maybe there's a chance if the guy Tulane gets run that maybe Andy could step in there. Truax, what's up? Let's see. Shelby, how about Milas dating Olivia Dunn? Might not have been great last year. Kid has game. Is he really? Good for him. Any chance Hill and Labus stay? Jaden Hill, that's unlikely, no. And Labus, I think it's more of a question of does he get an opportunity to go pitch professionally in somebody's organization, and do you want him back? I mean, by this point, I don't know that Labus is a guy that's going to be a part of your rotation, and does he come back for a what if? I don't know. I'd probably say no. Troy, did you ever find out the player that was driving by the stadium went to talk to Coach Jay at 11 p.m.? He wanted all that to be confidential, so I don't blame him. Shelby Labus is a senior. Actually, he's not Shelby. He could be like the super senior because of the extra year because of COVID. So he actually does have another year. Troy Hebert, the voice of Mississippi State, that call was horrible. Poor guy, Jim Ellis. I mean, he got tripped up because it looked for all the world like he was safe at first, and so he called him safe, and then it's like, oh no, he's out. Oh, we win it. I'll take it. It was brutal. I mean, for your first championship in history, and that's the call you get, was just absolutely horrible. Poor guy. Let's see. Kirk Taylor, morning Scone breaking news. I don't know what that means. Oh, you're talking about Schaefer, yeah. I know it didn't look good, but I'm telling you, he liked the way the guy threw. Don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Living the dream on the LSU baseball roster. Has a dime sugar mama. I wish that kind of good fortune for my son. Y'all talking about Theo Millis. I didn't know he was dating Olivia Dunn, but good for him. Good for them. Kale, have you heard players they're targeting for O-line depth? Are you talking about the Saints or are you talking about LSU's? If you're talking about LSU, y'all, they're done. Like, they are, when they signed 23, and then they added Mike Jones and Major Burns. So they're done. They don't have any more spots. Like, to take a transfer, you have to have an initial 25. So they don't have any more spots to take anybody else this year. They're done. So LSU's football roster is set. They can't take another transfer that's eligible this year. They're done. Troy, can you explain why there's only 11.7 scholarships? Such a weird number. Yeah, it's because of Title IX. So if you however much money you spend on men's sports, you have to spend the equivalent money on women's sports. So when you have 85 scholarships for football, and then you have men's basketball as well, you're at just under 100 scholarships there in those two sports, and now you have to match that in women's sports. It's why you have more women's sports than men's sports. It's why you have a women's soccer team at LSU and you don't have men's. It's why you have softball and swimming and diving and track and field and ladies golf. And you understand, like, you've got to, whatever scholarships you offer men, you have to have the equivalent number for women. And so baseball is one of those where most programs couldn't afford 25 or more 35 scholarships for baseball. And so baseball kind of gets the shaft from the NCAA with the 11.7 limit, which is just brutal. But it's a Title IX deal. Brian and Andy Pinton, August 12th, the Yanks play the White Sox on the Field of Dreams in Iowa. That is pretty cool, man. I know they teased that when that was happening. Didn't the Cubs play there last year, if I'm not mistaken? But that's pretty cool. Reagan Lee, how likely is it we could fire O before the season starts? I honestly rather clean house and sacrifice this season to get LSU back to morally sound place where female students could feel safe. Just to answer your question specifically, Reagan, so it's pretty clear that they're comfortable moving forward right now, right? The thing that I will tell you is I would expect the NCAA independent review panel, the Rice Commission, I would expect their findings before hey babe.
Can we do a Brock testimonial?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me
Whenever. Come on. Before the start of football season. So what does that mean for basketball and football? I don't know. So that's where I would say if there's something to keep an eye on, it would be that, but I don't know. Troy, I may be in the minority. I understand we have progressed as a country with marijuana law, but she knew the rules, obey the rules. It's not that hard. Find something legal to help you cope. Easy to say. Troy Abear, ask E-Rock, should I take my wife to Italy or Hawaii for our 25-year anniversary? Italy.
What?
But she's going to say Hawaii.
I'm amazed at his tolerance.
I know, it's great. Troy Abear said, should he take his wife to Italy or Hawaii for their 25th
Hawaii.
anniversary? Told you.
Go have fun in the sun and get tan.
You can go to the Amalfi Coast in Italy and get tan and have amazing food.
What's wrong with Hawaii?
Yeah. Nothing's wrong with Hawaii, but Italy's a completely different cultural experience.
Maybe his wife would rather home. Like the fact that he is not losing his mind right now.
E-Rock, if you're going to do a testimonial, you have to come on camera.
Oh, okay. Come check it out, Drew. Check it out.
E-Rock,
He's like walking in here taking charge.
E-Rock, what hurts more, foot injection or getting waxed?
The foot injection, I will tell you, was worse than an epidural. That's whenever they shoot that thing into your spinal fluid to have a baby. Say hi, guys.
Dave said the bunt at the end was classist. Dave, I actually disagree with you.
You see him, Drew?
I mean, you know I hate bunting, but I do respect keeping the merry-go-round going. Like, your job as a hitter is to get on base. And if the third baseman's playing deep and you can drop a bunt and bunt for a hit, I'm for it. I mean, the guy was trying to, like, it's the beautiful thing about baseball. It's never over till it's over. That's your season, man. In the National Championship Series. So I don't blame him for trying to get on base however he can. Nobody was hitting, so. Okay.
Do you want me to tell them about my experience?
I would
yesterday?
love for you to tell everyone about your Brock experience.
So I've never been to Brock because I never have injuries. Matt goes all the time. And
Hey, that was
you
kind of a
babe.
shot.
Babe.
Not all the
You
time.
go. I had never been. I didn't even know where to park. Like, you go a lot.
I
You
hit.
have neck injuries. You have knee injuries. You have knee surgery.
Achilles.
You have a foot thing. Like, you go a lot. Okay.
So, like, you listed 3 or 4 things in the 12 years that we've been together.
Well, they're usually very debilitating for you.
Yes, they are. But, like,
I've never
once,
been debilitated.
once
never been
every.
debilitated
Oh, really?
ever.
Every day when you walk out of that room, you're, like, limping all over.
But I'm
the
not
place.
complaining or needing to go get a brace. I just deal with it. Tough enough.
You needed to get a brace.
I
You
just dealt with
needed
it.
to.
I didn't complain.
You
Just
needed
couldn't
something.
walk.
And you complain about it every day.
I didn't complain to you.
Yeah, you did.
No.
My foot. I
No.
can't. Well, would you please get him out of bed? I
I
can't.
just could not pick
Oh,
Drew up out of bed. I wasn't complaining. Like, oh, my foot hurts so bad. Like, I
It-
didn't complain.
That is complaining.
No, I asked you to pick up Drew. That's all. So, anyway, I'd never been to Brock because I don't ever have injuries. And so I parked, walked in. First went to the wrong place. I checked in downstairs, which the doctor, Richet's husband, works downstairs, so it was
Kevin, yeah.
confusing. So they were like, no, you need to be upstairs. So then I go in the elevator and get to my little spot, and I waited in line for like a minute, and then I handed in my little paperwork and took a seat, and they're like, well, you can go get an x-ray. I'm like, oh, Lord. Well, I just walked like 10 steps, waited about 1 minute. He's dealing with it, okay.
Hey, bud.
Hey, Drew.
You want to give Daddy a hug?
He's debating. I said Lexapro helping him. Did you see that? Like, he was deep breathing.
Okay. Keep talking.
So I went and got my x-ray. Took about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Super fast.
Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom.
Everybody there loved me. They were all very nice. I think I was a good patient. Followed directions, did all the x-ray correctly.
Hi.
Then I walked back the 10 steps to my little lady, handed her my paperwork, sat down, they called my name, I went to the back. Dr. Richet's PA came in, and he was looking at my foot, asking some questions, and then made me walk a little bit. And then she came in, and she was like, look, you've got pretty angry in there, so you need a second line of defense. We're going to teach you some stretches, and then, here, go that way. And then we can either do physical therapy for a couple weeks or months, or we can do an injection. I'm like, I was like, well, first of all, there's no physical therapy. Like, I can't do that. There's no time for that. I'm like, but second of all, the injection I've heard is awful. And she said it is. It is tough. It is painful. She said, but you're gonna feel much better. I was like, give it to me. I looked at that PA and I was like, hold my foot and my leg. Please do not let go because I am going to move and flinch. And he did. And it hurts very bad to get that shot, but then it was good. So I was there probably a total of an hour, did all that, and they were just so nice and so friendly, and so it was very good.
Good job. So go to Brock.
Why'd you start looking at baseball cards while I was talking?
Oh, you were just talking for a long time.
That was rude.
I was trying to.
What if somebody did that to you while you were talking to them?
I probably. You were talking to
I
them.
was telling you.
Oh, you're talking to them. Erica, you were talking to them doing your testimony. You weren't talking to me.
That was rude.
I wanted to see what year that was.
If I did that while you were telling me something, you would have gotten so aggravated with me.
Oh, and
Oh, yes.
I would have been done with the story way quicker. I'm a little.
Because you tell stories better.
No, I'm just more efficient with my words.
I was giving them a step-by-step of what happened. I thought that's what they wanted.
They did. They asked for it. They did. It was a good story. It was a good story, Erica.
Okay. When he saw that blower, he was like, you saw, I was like,
Yeah, he was breathing a little bit.
panting.
Yeah.
He started panting when he saw that blower. He didn't know what to do. And then I
Kirk
like,
said, E-Rock, it was a great story.
thanks. I appreciate it.
Grown man farts. Yesterday when Drew came in, he was sitting on me, and he went like,
Oh, God.
I was like, did y'all hear that? They're like, we felt that. I was like, they're like, you're blaming the farts on the kid. I was like, it was the kid. Like, I'm telling you, it was him. All right, I think we're done. Almost an hour. So I'm waiting. My vehicle is over at the South Point today. So waiting for a call.
Why did I come in here? I thought there was questions, no?
No, you were just coming to do the
Oh,
testimonial.
Okay.
That's all. Dave said you asked her the time. She told you how to build a clock. Happens in my house all the time.
Dave. Sorry, us females like to converse. Talking to Matt, it's like talking to a wall most of the time. I get zero response. His head's looking at his phone. His fingers are moving, and I'm just talking to nothing every night.
Well, wait till you have my attention.
You don't. I don't. I never have your attention. I don't.
Well, then get my attention.
I try.
Don't you start talking. Well, Kirk,
Sorry. Don't talk to your husband. Don't just talk to me while I'm sitting there. Don't just talk.
We'll have enough.
Do some jumping jacks, strip naked. I mean, what do I need to do?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, just talking. Like, hey, babe. Nothing. I'm like, oh, fine. I don't even get upset. I don't. There's so many wives who would be so angry with you for never responding and just looking down the whole time. And I just take a deep breath and I'm like, I'll be here later to talk.
I put eye drops in my eyes. My eyes are dry. Okay. Dave said it's called selective hearing. Thank you, Dave. He gets me.
You have it 100% of the time.
Or
it's half hearing, because then you repeat something back, and I'm like, no, that's not at all.
Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to hear this. All right, I think we're done.
Let's Dave engage in this conversation.
We're done anyway. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Shout out to Brock. Shout out to Hudco. Locked on LSU coming up a little late today. AFR 3 and tomorrow the Kenilworth Independence Parade. I am the Grand Marshal. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom.
What are you wearing? You wearing like Uncle Sam outfit?
Do I have anything red, white, and blue? Like,
I don't think so.
I mean, do you go full on? This could be a good topic with Terry. Like, do I go full on America? Like,
you're the freaking marshal.
Grand Marshal.
Excuse me.
I'd
I'd rather be a marshal than a grand marshal.
Why?
Marshal sounds like more like bad A.
Really?
Grand marshal sounds like you know? Marshal sounds more bad A. Grand marshal, like the clown car's coming with your baton. And that's what you're going to be. Because you're going to have Olivia with you. So you're
totally
going
gonna
to be tight for sure.
I need to go get some stuff to throw too. I'm probably gonna get some like the big bags of candy to let the kids throw.
I thought they got that for you.
They give me red, white, and blue beads to throw, but I have a bunch of beads as well. I guarantee I can take.
Okay.
And I'm
you
like,
can throw your own stuff, they said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where are we going to go get that?
Let's go to Walgreens and get some candy. You can get anything at Walgreens.
No, you can't.
You get big bags of candy at Walgreens.
Not now.
Yeah, you
Go
can.
Sam's.
Yeah, you can get them at Walgreens.
Go Sam's.
You can buy anything, Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should go to the party store. You should go to Party Time and get some patriotic stuff to throw.
I don't want to spend money on the patriotic stuff to throw. They're giving me that.
You said they're giving you beads.
They're giving me red, white, and blue beads.
Okay. The party store, Party Time, and Blue Bonnet have a better throw selection of candies, even like that kind of stuff. They'll have like the little bitty footballs that you can buy, like, you know,
Junk.
30 of them.
The junk that nobody wants.
They want it. The kids want that. Kids want that more than candy. Maybe tomorrow morning we should go to Party Time. We should take a family trip to Party Time and get some stuff.
Maybe. Maybe you can take Drew today.
No, I'm not taking him by myself. He does not stand still. We need 3. It's 2 people on one. It's 2 to 1 for him in a store. When you're trying to get stuff, if you're just gonna walk around, it's different. You can just chase him. But if you're trying to get things, like certain things, you can't have him with you by yourself. It doesn't work. I mean, he needs to be in a stroller or wagon so he can just remain next to me. At Fresh Market the other day, he was like, no, I couldn't even find him. Because Barbara tries to talk to me. I'm trying to talk to Barbara, and Drew's like, go on. Barbara's like, where'd he go? I'm like, let's go find him. So we're like looking for him. I mean, he was in the, but it's just like he doesn't stay still. So I can't, no, but maybe the three of us could go to party time tomorrow. It'd be like a little outing in the morning. Okay, well, is this on?
Hmm?
Why? Nobody cares. We have like 4 people watching.
39 on YouTube, 22 on Facebook. More on YouTube than Facebook right now. Please hit the like button there on YouTube if you haven't done it yet. And we'll see y'all later. Have a great day.
Do you
Peace.
want waffles?
Peace.